Nice to
Hey,
meet
hey, hey. Thanks for having me. I like the t-shirt.
Hey, bro, have to rep a little bit,
Looking
Thanks.
good.
I appreciate you taking your time to be here and have this interview today.
Yeah, sorry for being a little late.
Nah, bro. I know you have a lot going on, a lot on your plate, so 100% understandable. So I guess let's just get right into it. The people are here, they're excited. So
Let's rock
just
and roll.
at the Nasdaq, the CBOE picked up the Igloo Inc., the ETF for the Pudgy Penguins and the brand. Bigs ran to their new local highs recently. Pengu has flown off the bottom of its price and market cap. The markets seem to be heating back up today. Pudgy Asia is right around the corner for you. I feel like the stars are aligning for the Penguins right around this season again. So first and foremost, Luca, how the fuck are you feeling,
I'm feeling good. I try not to get too high on the highs, try not to get too low on the lows,
bro?
but all things considered, happy to be hopefully in a bull market. I think we've never really had a true one since I've been at the helm of Pudgy, and the hope is that the market continues on this pace and we continue having a fun time. I know the community loves it, so our goal is just to keep it on.
I love that. I kind of echo that a lot myself. Never get too high, never get too low. Just keep it going. So amazing to hear that. So I wanted
Yeah.
to open up with IP and this ever-growing idea of the proliferation, right? To me, it feels like Pudgy finally laid down the blueprint for what an NFT token roadmap is supposed to be, right? The whole internet's Mickey Mouse thing kind of just picked up. It didn't just catch on. It just felt natural. And then you look at the blue Pengu, and then you put it right next to the Mickey Mouse, the Hello Kitty, all those legacy names. It's like lining up perfectly. Uh, what's your take on that? How did this happen in your eyes? And where do you want it to keep going from here?
I think it's like a success through 1,000 cuts, right? I've been preaching the penguin proliferation thesis for years, right? Like our whole success story was off this model. Like this wasn't luck. This was like really calculated, critical thinking and like thinking about this for just months and months and months and just coming to this conclusion that like it all just comes down to supply and demand, and demand is created through the proliferation of the penguin, and that the more penguin proliferation that goes on in the real world, the more that's going to translate towards demand and then supply through conviction through the existing holder base. So no matter how many ways you skin the cat, right, it all just comes down to penguin proliferation. And memes and NFTs have an ability to do something that no other token or category within crypto can do, which is invade the hearts and minds of everyday consumers. It's just a whole different, strategy and a whole different playbook, um, that I think, we've kind of seen in the past, but I think no one's really owned the strategy. I think some people just kind of got lucky into it, right? And like it kind of just happened, but it all comes down to marketing. It all comes down to attention. And when we do products like this cute little penguin, like to me, people see, product line, I see marketing. I see mind share when you turn off the screen, right? Like so everything to us is just a marketing game. And we're going to continue on that cadence until it proves otherwise. But it's just seen so much success these last couple of years off of that one vein, that I don't think I'm going to be wrong, and I don't think we'll ever pivot from that strategy.
I agree with you. It's been really cool to see, honestly. Uh, it's never been done like you said before and actually owned. I feel like you said, some people's gotten very lucky with it. But something you've always talked about as well is supporting the people who support you, right? And that's something I truly believe and live by as well. Build with those around you, build with those who want to be there, right? So I feel like you've really seen that with how you move personally. You back the ones building, you give energy where it's earned. Do you think that's a big reason why there are so many community led projects and ideas flying out like now? Like you don't even have to build yourself, even though you are on scaled levels. You just lean in and are able to support also all the other community led projects and products coming through the Pengu.
Yeah, it's all about mutually beneficial relationships. I even saw like a post the other day of like some dude bringing up like the frame airdrop, and I was pretty clear on that. I did an interview. I was like, wait, what did anybody who clicked that button on the Frame website do for us and help us succeed? Like, we did that with Pengu, right? Everyone got a piece of Pengu. And I did that strategically because I thought to myself, one, I wanted to give Penguin holders 25% of the supply. And I don't think it tells a good story if everyone's buying a token that just Penguin holders got for free and then just like this inverse relationship. And I also know that Pengu has the potential to flip Doge. And if Pengu is going to flip Doge, its story, right, its origin story on how it was created needed to be one that was for the people by the people, right? And so, like, and that was probably the exception because ultimately that whole airdrop was positioned for this long-term plan of flipping Doge, which I don't think would be possible if like, it was just Penguin holders and it's just like this tight knit. Like, no, it's not what I think Pengu was supposed to be for or about. But in general, principally, I think that's the only exception to the rule, right? Like I'm in the business of supporting people who support me. So mindful, you spend a lot of time on Abstract, you stream, you're huge in the community. Like I'd be remiss if when it's all said and done that I don't reciprocate that value to you because I appreciate the value that you're contributing to the network and to the ecosystem. And you're the type of people that I'm optimizing for in terms of supporting. And if it's not you, then the OG Pudgy holders who have held through 90% drawdowns through and thin. Same with the Pengu holders. Like I'm in the business of rewarding the people who have shown their conviction and their support, not only through words, but through action. Right. And my job is to take care of you guys. And that is my number one focus. As long as I take care of you guys, I know that I will win over the course of the long term. And I have a 10, 15, 20-year roadmap here. So, I'm just getting started, but I'm in the business of mutually beneficial relationships, not optimizing and not like being a donation center, right? Like I'm not here to be a donation center. I'm here to build something that's going to stand the test of time and that people are going to talk about for 100 years, and to reward the people that were a part of that journey and that made that journey and that success story happen. Anybody in between, with the exception of just the story that we had to tell for Pengu, I'm really just focused on the people that are here to help us and reciprocate the value to the best of my ability.
I love that answer. It's one of the big reasons, me personally, I've bet on you. I have basically over the past year shifted my whole focus in crypto to just be like, Pudgy Penguins is where it's at. Luca is a great leader. Abstract is the consumer chain. This is going to take the next level. So a lot of the values that you talk about, and this is, I have a lot of respect for, right? I think with what you do and how you do it, uh, you started something that a lot of times it just trickles down to your Pengu holders, it's trickling down to your abstract users, and then it's just going to keep going as we grow as a consumer chain. And I also see that kind of with the Pengu, right? I see that Pengu is now being used as the ultimate onboarding vehicle. We're seeing kids like my nephew and niece get the first toy that they love. They're watching this new YouTube series and now getting into the books, which you've recently spoke about in the Inner Igloo. And they have no idea that it's tied to Web3. No wallets, no friction. It's just fun, story, IP. Do you think this is a new onboarding meta where we don't even need to tell people it's crypto? We just let them fall in love with the experience. And from that, even on the back end, you're able to create revenue, which is not really done before in this scenario scene.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like no matter how many ways you skin this cat, like it all came down to this. That's why we bought Pudgy, because everyone was like, these are digital collectibles, these are brands. And I was looking at it and I was like, well, like you're doing nothing that like physical collectibles do to accrue value. There's no real brand, right? This idea that like everyone's building their own thing, decentralized. Like I don't really believe in that because there's so much brand confusion there, even though in Pudgy you can do that, but it's kind of within the brand guidelines and kind of in the spirit in the same vein as to like how we want to build this thing. I don't know. I just like whether you're trying to build a valuable NFT, you have to build a brand. If you want to build a valuable token, you got to build a brand. Like no matter how many ways you skin this cat, I'm just, what we really did on its face, it's been done before to a certain extent. There's definitely things that are different, but I'm just so like perplexed as to why nobody really thought of it and got to the same conclusion that we got to earlier, because it seemed really obvious that this is where it all was going. Um, and it's a hedge, right? Because like bear market, bull market, obviously, like you can't really control the roller coaster that is macro and some of these charts, but like no matter what, the business that is Pudgy is going up and to the right. And as long as that business continues to succeed, all of the assets will succeed with it. It's not if, it's when, right? And so, I think it's just like it's a really safe, forecastable, projectable place and destination in terms of where we're going. And when it comes down to just competing with others, like you just can't compete with the behemoth that this has become, right? Because it's just so it's everywhere in a place that nothing can compare, right? Where like a lot of people are taking like old memes that had relevancy, and like kind of bringing those back to life and tokenizing them, and all that's great, but nothing has the upward momentum and escape velocity from an impression and mind share and love and affinity perspective the way that Pengu does. It's an unbeatable force. It is this cycle's force of nature. I think my big challenge and what I'm looking for is like a lot of times in crypto, you see like 1 cycle things, 2 cycle things. Like, how can I make this a 5, 10 cycle thing, right? And that is going to be the real test of time, and the real challenge. I think it's impossible to say that there's anything this cycle that is going to do better than this, because the machine's in full throttle, right? The community's locked, and we're the worst of it is already behind us. Now it's like, how far
On.
can we go, right? So if you survive the 90% drawdown, we actually needed that, though. In the eyes of the story, right? The eyes of like 50% of the people, everyone got it. Like, you needed to get the opportunists out, and like the community was formed at that 90% drawdown, right? So anybody who's here, right, who had that airdrop is diamond handed. They believe it's going to 10 cents. They believe it's going to 20 cents and $1, right? And we needed that, because to be frank, a story like this couldn't have happened if it was just up only from launch. Actually thinking about it, I didn't really think about it until now, like hindsight's 2020, but it needed this, right? It needed to test everyone's conviction, and every single person was tested in that little sprint, in my opinion.
I agree. There was that time where people were questioning what it could be, and during those times with the Pudgies and during those times with the Pengu, like anyone that didn't believe in, and I think this is just in any business, but especially talking about this now, is if they're non-believers, they're gonna get off, right? They're gonna leave, and then the people that actually believe and want to be a part of this and are gonna have the conviction and be the diamond holders, wherever it is, those are the time where they accumulate. Those are the time where they get in, and those are the times they really like make their stance. So I'm 100% with you, and I think one of the reasons why, going back to why no one's ever done it and taken it to this level and was able to do the distribution that you have now, is because it's greed. That's kind of how I see it. A lot of people just didn't want to share. A lot of people didn't want to grow at scale, and they didn't want to put 20 years in, right? Like a lot of people you're talking about 20 years. Some people can't even talk about 3 years, right? So I think that is super important. But speaking about like onboarding the masses, right? I want to get into what I think is now the next best product in crypto, which is abstract. You talk about always billions with huddle, and I believe it, but I also truly believe billions will abstract, right? Uh, the flywheel, the illusion of the AGW wallet, the genius of the portal, which is the Disney crypto app store. Uh, and now I hear that Apple Pay is coming, right? So it's kind of like frictionless payments around the way, and all this. You're basically taking everything that you've built with Pengu, and now you're giving an opportunity for people to once again get on at ground level and see what the next level, like I spoke with Michael Lee about this the other time I had him on stream, is the next evolution of the internet is being built through Pudgy, right? And with the distribution model that you have, I'm kind of curious, bro. Like, how the fuck did you guys come up with this, and where did it even come from?
Yeah, I think when you look at Portal, the conclusion that we kind of came to was like, dude, the consumer journey is just broken, right? Like, it's just so complicated to get on chain. Portal, it seems simple on its face, and it's going under a big rebrand. So I think you guys are going to see really like the end vision here shortly. But it's one of those things that I think when you look at it, it's just so it 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 was just so obvious. Like it all should just live in a central interface. I mean, you would think, right? Like this seems like just the way that it's going to go. I think initially, like we didn't have this vision when we acquired Frame and we kind of started on that journey. I think we ideated on like what's going to differentiate ourselves from a blockchain perspective. I think our big reason why we even started this was because like, dude, our community is so big. Everyone's offering us all this money to build on their chain, and it's because none of these chains do anything. And like they want Pudgy because Pudgy would be one of the only things on their chain that does anything. Uh, and so, that's how it was created. I think ultimately what we ended up building, and you're going to see this, is like an on-chain Steam style platform with like other interesting mechanics and crypto on-chain mechanics. But I think the big unlock that I think Portal has solved today is the consumer journey. Finally, you have a domain that you can just go send your mom and a brother. And when Apple Pay, it's really going to fix it. It's going to be
Crazy.
the most seamless experience
Crazy.
there. It's like, here's a website, boom, fund, Apple Pay, you're in, and all of a sudden you're on chain in a very seamless way. It needed to always be that. And then we're gonna have the iOS app, and it's gonna be everything that you know to me an onboarding experience should look like. And then once you have that down pat, then it becomes like, how do you create the best 1 to 100 experience, which is like, how do you have everything in crypto in one central place? I'm also excited for that.
I'm excited for it as well. I saw the vision early when you had
Yeah,
abstract.
you saw it early. I know you did. That's why I was like, I got to do this interview because he saw it early. I got to pay homage.
I respect that. It's much appreciated. And speaking of seeing it early and people not seeing it early, right? I think now people are starting to lurk around abstract, right? They're waiting for their shot to get in. You still hear the noise, like some people like, wins the marketing, wins the liquidity, win, win, win. But honestly, like I said, I see the vision, I saw the genius, the organic growth. Like as in Pudgy Penguins, what you did there wasn't enough. Abstract just feels like a whole nother level, like we just spoke about, the whole frictionless A to Z, getting on, AGW portal, all of that, right? To me,
Yep.
one of the other geniuses is the XP. It's like the heartbeat of abstract, right? DApps are being built for real consumers within servers that you speak about all the time, right? And
Yeah.
then I also think streaming is warming up, right? And I think you are waiting for the right moment to flip the switch and onboard the billions that we just spoke about. So, how do you see this playing out? Are you happy with where abstract is right now? And better yet, are we still early?
Yeah. I mean, we're insanely early. I mean, you have to really think about this. We bought Frame 12 months ago, right? Like, we think about the chain build. No one's on the pace that we're on, right? Like, we bought Frame 12 months ago. We started building this and knew what we were building probably 9 months ago. And so you're really just seeing like a 9 month build. I think for us, when we turn on the floodgates, I have to know that it's going to convert. And so right now, Portals is pretty bare bone. And
Mhm.
I think like there's no question in my mind. I think every user should be comfortable. Like you will know when that happens,
Yep.
but it needs to be rebranded. It needs to be like, oh shit, this could be,
Perfect.
stake. This could be whatever it needs to be. This could be Steam. The floodgate, the flipping the switch of the floodgate's not my worry. My worry, and the reason why it hasn't happened yet, is because I think
Mhm.
the product build is not there yet. And I think users have to give us a little bit of grace through the context of like how long we've actually been building this. Pudgy was a 3.5 year build. That's what you see through that culmination. I mean, the first year at Pudgy, we were just feedbacking, we were trying, we ideated licensing with the holders. We had just, at the end of the first year, we had our first toys hit the market, right? Like it's like I know how long this takes, and it's not going to be like, we're not going to hit escape. I didn't expect escape velocity, but every month it
It's
gets
just
better and
growth.
better.
It's an
The,
organic.
the, the platform gets a little bit better. And we haven't shipped that many updates recently because we're working on one big giant monster update that's going to really change the experience. And then I think like once you see that update come, you're probably gonna see like us, announce a fundraise. So another thing is like capital constraints. we haven't had tens of millions of dollars to open the marketing floodgates. I don't need that much, but having a huge treasure chest is something we've never had over at the Igloo or in either of our respective companies. And so I am fundraising for Abstract. And so being able to pull the fuel on the fire. So I think you're going to see those kind of tangential in the sense that like you're going to see this huge monster portal update that's going to change how everyone looks at it. And then I think you're going to see alongside it, a huge fundraise. And then I think you're going to be, that's when I would put my mental clock of like, okay, it's about to go crazy. And in the interim, like I'm very focused on community. Like the people here now are the true community of Abstract. And you guys are as early as you possibly can become. I mean, if you look at Base's first 12 months, Base's first 12 months, it was a ghost town, right? You could hear a pin drop on the chain. And so I think we're seeing so much more momentum than any other chain has ever seen in their first 12 months. And the goal is to make something special, right? Like we have, 11-figure ambitions for this. Like anything less, I think would be a mistake. And so I think it's just up to the community to the point. A lot of people forget this, but we gave $100 million in Pengu to Abstract community members. You guys got an airdrop and that's like a sign of good faith to be like, you have no reason not to believe in our word, because there's chains that people farm for years and use for years, and they get way less than what they got on, just being early to Abstract. And so I think users have to trust that we're building something, one, for the long term, that two, we're going to take care of our community, and three, that, it takes time to cook. But when you bet on this team, right, like the history and the data shows that betting on this team for the long term has always boded well for users.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. And I agree 100%. Like something that I talk about a lot, and it's really crazy having this conversation right now because you echo a lot of the things that I've tried to tell people as well. It's like, man, just look at the history, right? Look and understand, like I'm with you. You only have one real shot at onboarding retail in a sense. So you can't turn on that switch and everything's not ready. There's not enough apps, not enough whatever. And it's maybe they have a problem here, a problem there. It has to be perfect for when they come on. And I think you've proven time and time again that like, just give us some time. And once things are ready, we will make that move. And for right now, just, enjoy the platform, be early, have your fun, earn your XP. And that's something I've been doing myself. Been echoing it as a lot as well. And I personally, like I said, I believe XP is like the heartbeat. It's really what moves the whole system. People look at it as like a metric point system, but it's so much more. It's permission, it's reputation, it's contribution. We're seeing creators, games, meme pages, all the founders trying to figure out how to really build around this XP system, right? What was the vision with XP originally, and how deep does this rabbit hole go?
Yeah, XP originally was like Amex rewards, and I think post TGE it will be something like that, right? Cash back, extra
Do
token
it.
incentive, right? It's got to be something like that.
Yes.
And from now until then, it's obviously like indexing who's participating on the chain. A lot of people complain about like, I don't know what makes XP. Like that's the whole point, right? I think the only thing that everybody kind of knows gets you XP is like holding. Like I'm a big supporter, like, because again, mutually beneficial relationships, right? Like you trading that you like holding is the most EV thing that users can do on the chain for us, right?
Yes.
Like, because holding means that the coins go up, the NFTs go up. So I reward holding more than anything, but I think that's pretty clear. I think everyone's kind of caught on to that now. And if you haven't, then here's the alpha. You heard it from the horse's mouth. I'm big on holding, right? Because again, just the way you can game XP if you want to again, because I think the people listening to this are going to be real users, is just look at it through the lens of mutually beneficial relationships. What's a mutually benefit? How as a user can I mutually benefit Abstract the network? And if you look at it through that lens, I promise you'll figure out exactly how to get XP, right? And how to boost the XP up. But again, obviously there's variables that change, and like I don't want it to be gamed, and I don't
Yep.
really think farmers can game that, right? To be
Mm-mm.
frank, so I don't mind sharing that. Uh, but it's again all through the lens of mutually beneficial, right? If you're, I want you to make money, I want you to support, but like ultimately, if you're, buying a token at 10K market cap and selling it at 1 million, and you're like, where's my XP? You'll be like, well, dude, you already won, right? Like you already took a
Exactly.
W, you already got 100x. So like but and then you selling it doesn't really help that coin go further and doesn't help the network go further. So I think it's just about like, again, mutually beneficial relationships. Just look at it through that lens, and I promise you guys will see, exactly how to optimize for the most rewards.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'm one of the top 5, if not the top one, in XP at the moment in Abstract, and I've done it piggybacking off what you just said. I've held everything that I bought from day one, basically. It's something that's helped me a lot, and it's good for the other people now to actually hear this coming from you. So I think that's really cool. I think I personally 100% agree with you. That's the way we push the abstract further, as like you said, from the consumers, from the builders, from everyone. To me, also XP looks like it could end up being with like our tier system, an on-chain resume, right? Is that kind of what you're going for?
Yeah, the way that it builds out. So like the interesting part is like most people don't know this, but Portal is a big giant wallet. It's like a super wallet, right? It starts with the login, but the whole thing is built on a wallet. You can do a lot of things by the way that and I don't want to give away some of the alpha, but you can do ad platforms, you can do reputation, you can do credit, you can do things in a way that nobody else can. That's true consumer, right? Like what's consumer without credit? What's consumer, like these things are the backbone of the whole consumer ecosystem in the real world. Again, we're thinking far out, right? Like I think right in front of me is like the number one thing I want to do is hit this crazy monster update for you guys. Obviously, Abstract August has a ton of insane deployment. So get through that, get the rebrand going, activate the marketing machine. I mean, I've been saying it for a long time, but I haven't really started, kind of going over it, in terms of the last couple of, yeah, I actually will stop saying that because I'm about to say something I want to say. But the point of the matter is it's all, no matter how you derive it, I think the best way for people to look at this and to at least, be a part of the ecosystem is just through mutually beneficial relationships.
Yep, that's don't want you to say too much. But so I want to get back to streaming real quick, right? I think streaming to me is like the quiet giant. It's still under the radar, but everyone paying attention like could feel like, and it's been talked about on spaces and stuff, that it's kind of like ramping up. And I hear partnerships are being made and changes are coming on that aspect. I think it's content meets onboarding in a sense. Creator economy meets crypto rails. Is this a real unlock for you, where the average person doesn't even realize they're on chain? They're just vibing, watching, and learning, and then suddenly playing, bridging, and earning.
Exactly. It's just all about, it's all entertainment, right? And I got something special for you streamers. I know people index, when it's time, you guys will get something really great, especially the streamers that have stayed consistent. I know people have kind of ebbed and flowed. I think the instant dopamine of XP hasn't really been translated the way that it should have for streamers, but don't worry. When it's time, it will make a lot of sense. And I made some promises early on, and I plan on fulfilling those promises. So streaming is going to be really high EV for people who actually decide to take it seriously. I think just from my perspective, it's really about, I value the creator, I think, more than any other founder in crypto. I think every founder in crypto is just so foolish around the value of the creator. And I also just value, from a normie perspective, just at the entertainment side. This is where it's all going. Again, it doesn't make that much sense now because the portal branding is really like, does the product work? Does it function? Is there PMF? Once you see the rebrand, I think it's just going to take it's going to take the whole thing to a new level. I think everybody's going to instantly get what we're going for. And that's going to be the true day one. Right now, we're still like day zero, first 12 months, like figure it out, understand where the kinks. I think once we hit once the actual mainnet hits 12 months, I think it's going to look like a whole different, everything about this thing is going to look like a whole different beast. And I'm excited for that.
I think a lot of the streamers are as well. That's really good to hear. I have a lot of streamers in my community from Abstract, so they're and me as well. So we definitely appreciate that. Uh, Now I wanted to touch something on briefly that I seen you talk about in the last couple of weeks and kind of put some emphasis on, which is the abstract meme coin market, right? You commented on Saigar, one of his posts about the XP distributions going out to more memes. You commented and said that that's you thanked him for it, uh, and then you dove in yesterday and bought some strong projects. I thought that were built off real devs that have real opportunity to take this meme idea and do what you've been speaking out about and like posting articles for the last years, taking it from just a meme to go on to a full-on social IP, a brand, something that can be backed with product and generate real revenue. Is that the vision you have for the abstract memes, or were you just having some fun on chain yourself?
Yeah, I was methodical in who I picked. Uh,
Wow. All
the
right.
meme the 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 meme ecosystem is going to have to be the place where I lead the most. Like I'm gonna have to be the leader and the champion there. There's a lot of like, app marketing. I got the best in the world for that when the time is ready. Saigar and crew are building the best product. Peter's leading the charge on what this looks like. NFTs and memes are going to be the places that I'm going to have to lead and help the most. Um, and they know, like, I'm giving these guys the playbook. Like I don't know if you guys know, but I used to do weekly masterminds with them. I've now broken up, I think, every 2 weeks. But I'm giving them the playbook, right? And so I'm
Wow.
giving them all the information that they need. I think you'll start to see some
Alpha.
sex listings for some of our favorite coins here shortly. So I've been working on that, but I
It is
really deeply value the meme coin ecosystem
me
in a
too.
big way.
Alpha guys. That's insane. I'm the same way. I There's a couple of the projects I'm not going to be shilling or anything that I also talk to their devs and founders and all that, and I see their vision. So when I saw the list of what you did get, I thought I saw your vision. Kind of confirmed that kind of did. Uh, so it's amazing to hear. A lot of people I think needed that. Kind of that, in a way, a stamp of approval to be like, hey, you might want to take a look at these and see what they're building. So now I wanted to kind of give you your flowers in a sense, and I want you to know something that has sparked in me ever since I personally got in Pudgy Penguins and now on Abstract. Everything you built with Pudgy Abstract, the way you move with community, the IP narrative, it's inspired me personally to build something of my own as well. I started a community on Abstract. It's called The Art of Being. It's not a project. It's not a hype DAO. We don't have an NFT or a token or anything of that nature. It's just a community that resonates with the energies that we've been talking about this whole time. All handpicked and cultivated members. Like I said, not NFT backed, no token. We're just kind of like a powerhouse on Abstract, the top streamers, top powerhouse users, content creators, consumers, and a group that just wants to see each other win in their own right. We've invested a lot in Abstract. We own a lot of the biggest projects, whether that's NFTs or social IPs, and you've given me the opportunity to also have like a purpose and meaning from being here on Abstract and to grow something from that. So I wanted to ask you, uh, as a founder yourself and as a leader, what advice would you have for me?
I would say you are the muscle to the brain that is the community, and just you are within the space. You are nothing without them. Obviously, individually, or obviously somebody, but in the space, you're nothing without them. Outside of the space, you can be who you want to be. But if you want to succeed here, it starts and stops with them. I just can't stress that enough. Everybody treats their community like a customer. It's really, and I get that because that's just like how regular businesses are built. But that's not how it is here. This is a game of who can be the best people person and the best leader. This is a game of leadership, in my opinion. So just be the best leader you can possibly be and listen to them. Right? You are the president of your organization, and they all are counting on you for for whatever you do, whether that's good alpha or giving them value. You are the custodian of that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, we're just like a family, bro. And we love everything that you've done with Pudgy. We love everything that you've done with Abstract. And our mission is basically to, as Abstract grows, we want to grow with Abstract. We want to grow with the Pudgy ecosystem, and we want to represent that on our end and our side. Uh, it's where it goes and what it could be. I'm not 100% sure yet, right? But I do know that it's in a good place being here on Abstract, and as long as we're in this ecosystem, there's a lot that could happen for us. So I appreciate it, bro. I 100% appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man. So to close this out here, I would just ask you, right? Where do you see Abstract and Pudgy in the years to come? And what would you want to leave the people with here
Yeah,
today?
Pudgy is going to be the face of crypto. It's going to be the face of penguins around the world. It is this generation's Mickey Mouse. We will make it happen. It's at a point where you can't stop it. It's just it's not if, it's when, and I'm just so unbelievably convicted, and I know what we've got coming. I mean, if you thought anything we've announced up until this point is big, you've literally seen nothing yet. I think we got 3 announcements that are bigger than our biggest announcement. Whatever you think our biggest announcement was, I think we got 3 bigger in the pipeline. So I'm excited to show the world there. But outside of that, it's got to be a franchise. It's got to be up there in terms of the world's top IPs. And anything less would be a failure. And I have no business of failing. And Abstract has to be a top blockchain to ever exist. I think the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come for Base. I think Base is going to be a challenge. I think we can take them and take real market share from them over the next 12 to 24 months. And then after that, we're going to go for the incumbents. I think we can be one of the biggest and best blockchains out there. And then when it's all said and done, when you look at this thing 20 years from now, Abstract will have solidified itself as a top 3, top 4 blockchain to ever exist.
I love that. Once again, bro, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. It was really nice meeting you. Hopefully, get to meet you in person at Art Basel and chop it up again, bro. Much love. Thank you. And I respect your time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Later.
Peace.